9. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
Things are about to get a little bit crazier here down on PTM Racing TV as we're now live here at Talladega Superspeedway for tonight's action, tonight's showcase here from the drivers of the BackFire Sim Racing crew. It's time to get down to the business, time to get down to the show here on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader, Christian Char, joining you tonight here live down in Talladega County, Alabama. It is once again time to see some Next Gen Cup Series action as we'll throw up nearly another 100 race lap for the event here on the show here for you guys and all the fans and views to watch here on the track. Definitely a bit of a crazy one here as BackFire Sim Racing this time comes out on the track, on the plate track that is, looking to build up some speed, build up momentum, and showcase their best and their brightest talents on this very tough to tame track with the terrain that is about as slick as it gets with these Next Gen Cup cars. This will definitely be an even footing track and an even footing fight in a car that really now can draft as much as it can slide job, and it as much also it can pretty much slingshot anything in its wake. Well, field right now is going from their open qualifier session. That means one thing now, the drivers are preparing for their last chance qualifying spot here. They're getting the last laps out on the track, I should say. Mike Corveau and the 2 and the 14, Christian Roos doing their last little push. Roos going to go in, and Corveau also will decide not to finish the lap. I guess he just wants more screen time on air, I guess. Well, Corveau comes around the line, comes around the finish here, and Roos just doing his own thing, I guess. Looks like I finally parked it down there, and they'll settle it down. Corveau off track as well. It looks like he's done, so qualifying is now finally finished up. Open qualifying has completed. It's time to showcase to you our drivers here and a starting lineup for tonight's action here at Talladega Superspeedway. As BackFire Sim Racing prepares for their battle here, prepares for their show. Looks like we're still a little bit on the Richter. There we go. We got qualifying up now. We're good to go there. All right, here we go, race fans. It's time to see our field of drivers today. On the pole will be the number 17. That will be Dylan Hervatin. His outside, that is Matthew Robinson, the 94. Row number 2 is Matthew Rodriguez, and the 57 is outside Robert Kennedy will pile it up in number 10. Row number 3, that will be, that's going to be Eddie Morris, the 96 is outside. It'll be 84, Cliff Corveau Jr. Row number 4 is Nick Biddy, and the 85 is outside. 83, that's Joseph Davidi. Row 5 sees Nicholas Pinico, and the 55 is outside. It's 97, Brock Savati. Row number 6, that's Chris Papa, and the 13 is outside. It's the 87, Thaddeus Marshall. Row number 7 is Alexander Jagerfon, and the 99 is outside. The 82 is Mike Corveau. Row number 8 is going to be Christian Roos, and the 14 is outside. The 21, Noah Howland. Row number 9, Cole Martin pilots up. Number 45 is outside. It's the 18, Zach Gomella. Row number 10, TJ Robertson. The 11 is outside. The 95, Aaron Brown. Row number 11, it's Tom Bourne, and the 16 is outside. The 102, Mark Gonzalez. Row number 11 is going to be or yeah, excuse me, actually, Aaron. So Tom Morton and Gonzalez round up round 11, row number 12, I should say. Okay, okay. There's two 21s in here, guys. Sorry, but I'm a little confused what's going on down there. I've got two 21s here. Okay, we'll just go from the run here. The 38 will be Dylan McDonald here. Then the 26 Blake Howell. And the 24 slot slated is Carl Handwork. And the 51s outside will be 46 Josh Billiter. He is not on the line. And 35 will be Wes Fuller. And then the 48 Ricky Gonzalez here. So I apologize for that, but my timing sheet kind of looks a little bit weirder than probably yours does. My apologies there. Rays fans, so we are prepared for the action. We're prepared to get set for the moments, the motions, the field. Drivers are ready to rock it out here and ready to fire it on down. A new camera has been added in here down at Talladega since the last race. So you'll see a little bit of the action kind of coming off that corner bank of that always fast, tough, and train. Turn number 4, 94 laps to the distance. Field set in motion. Field, we get the tires warmed up a little bit here, get themselves all squared away here out on the track. 94 laps to the distance. We saw what 100 laps will do with these drivers, and due to this field here before, will we get another piece of it here today? On our cameras and on our comment section, Christopher Hupke is coming on board. He's rooting for McQuaid and Martin and Roberts. Robert Van Ness saying go 77. Love for the boys down there. Love for the show. I love every minute of it. Our field of drivers right now preparing to go to battle here. Ellen Fuller bringing Mama Fuller here, cheering on the Full Town boys. Alright, I love the sound of it. I love the feeling of it. You know, guys, there's one driver I think they may want to watch out, though, for. It might be that 17, Dylan Hervatin. The last time I saw him down at Talladega in a spot similar to this, he was looking for his first win of his career on PTM Racing TV. He went straight shooting for 15th all the way to the front. Will he pull another one out of the hat, and will he do it again? We're about to find out here as drivers get prepared to lock horns, to put bumpers together, to draft this track at high speeds, over 200 miles per hour in distance. This is an all-out speed taker's track. And the field now set in motion. This is our pit side cam to give you guys a little bit of an idea like where all the cars are and where everyone's at in position at the time. As the field will bring their way around down for turn number 4 onto the front stretch. They bring it down to the tri-oval area now, looking for the run, looking for a speed. Off a corner number 4, they strung it down the stretch. They brought it to the tri-oval, past the tri-oval section of the restart zone. The BackFire Sim Racing boys now begin their race. Patrick McQuaid saying, unfortunately got called into work due to the snow, but let's go. Got some motorsports. Wish I could be there with y'all. Patrick, good to hear from you, sir, and it's a darn shame we weren't able to get you on the show here today. Well, already some drivers ripping it up top side, some drivers ripping it in the middle and the bottom. Either way, there is not a pressurized zone. There's not a safe zone on this track. There are multiple areas and multiple rungs to work with here, and that's exactly what they're doing here at the moment. Battle them down on the front straightaway here. Everyone looking for position, jockeying their runs. Bit of a difference maker we saw from last night, of course, was the drivers out of the gate, knowing that there were stage breaks, decided to take it easy out of the start and not really go towards that double file tandem draft here out of the gate. Looks like they're being a little bit different in this case. Now, a lot of it could be chopped down to just how they wanted to run the track, how they wanted to build speed up, but with going a 3 wide, almost nearly in a 4 wide, slow down that back straightaway. That's when things just start to get a little bit ripped up and tore up down there a little bit. Speaking of tore up a bit, the 82 Right on the mark, Mike Corbeau got slammed there a little bit harder off on turn number 3. Took 3 wide and got taken for his troubles. He's okay though. The car is able to at least keep at pace, keep a distance in. But the damage definitely took a hit or two here. Look out in the back. Some movement I've seen traveling up. I think that might be Thaddeus Marshall here in the 87. Oh, that might actually, that is not. That will be the 11. There he is right there. TJ Roberts. The Jacko goes. Not exactly laying back for anyone today. And neither is Tom Airborne in the 16. Tom right now literally straight shooting it to the moon, going top side here. He wants the highest peak, the highest part of the track. He wants to make a run up there with the boys. Field's starting to get a little bit of a grab down on the bottom end there. Looks like they're starting to back off a little bit, not trying to get into that rung up on the top side. That's one thing I absolutely love about this race is now with Daytona and Talladega, there are multiple angles to work with. It's not just the bottom anymore. The outside and the middle work quite well. Whitney Herbat saying, go Dylan Herbat in the closer. Yeah, Dylan has been known to close out races before, and this is one of his favorite tracks to do it at, I'll tell you that much, because it's the first track he was able to get that very first win ever on here on PTM Racing TV. As Thaddeus Marshall here in that Titletown Racing had a little bit of a trouble there, but I'll tell you, one other guy that's going to have troubles, that being Cliff Corbeau Jr. Corbeau strictly sent to the shadow realm off turn number 3, got put down the bottom end. He was able to save the car. They'll let him keep going. No caution yet, but extreme aggression. It's extremely hard racing here from the boys as well. Kind of surprising to me out of the gate that they run so difficult, center run so hard. Oh, especially when stuff like this can happen right there. Corner number 1. Oh, that's definitely going to get cautioned out. Flies yellow high. Noah Holland runs it right down into the deep end and into some drivers, unfortunately. And that's what I was a little bit worried about. That 51 took a the 21 took a hard hit there, and he got a good chunk of it. And again, really, as we look at the PTM Instant Replay, really a lot of it was just because he was trying to evade being lost in the draft, but he got shuffled in a bit with that 83. And then Thaddeus just kind of giving him the old bump and tag, and he had really nowhere to go from there. The 10 and all of them getting clipped on around. No one was safe from this one. And there are stages, I'm being told right now as well, in this race, so there will be definitely some time to be worked on, some time to really get things fixed up, but I will say as well, this is not what you want to do out of the gate. We didn't have a camera up close and personal, so we had to get the blimp cam out here. This was watching the leaders as this went on. Just looked like he drove it way too close, trying to get the side draft to work, and instead, he pays the price. I mean, out of the gate, I would not be trying to drive this hard, really. This is not the kind of trying to travel track like that for this kind of speed. If you're an 87, maybe, but these next gens are not exactly 87 Cup cars. So the field will have to now recenter, regroup, rethink, re-strategize, re-rack, restack, and put it back on the attack here. Flagman flying that yellow high in the air, trying to get these guys to get their attention, make sure they're aware of it. And they'll flip the yellow flag high in the air up into the field. So one more time by here, they've given the 2 to go initial. Once you see a flag go waving around like that, then you see the flag standing up, that means 2 to go. And when they go around one more time, that flag will stay up one more for the signal for a 1 to go. some of the highlight drivers here in this field. Obviously, Alexander J. Kerfan, one of the guys there from Kerfan's Market 99, been absolutely tearing it up out on the track and just completely taking down anything that moves in his sight. While other guys like Tom Airborne piling up tonight in his number 16 Genesis Players.com Genesis machine. I mean, one thing I will say right now, though, is that he has been bad fast. He's been bad tough here out on the track, but can he get himself into the right circumstance, the right kind of corner ends today, especially knowing how difficult some of these drivers may just become at him there. And that's actually the player. That's actually player 1, number 16. I have to apologize there. I said that it was a player.com. That's actually player 1 on that scheme. Thankfully, our producers were able to give me the drone cam out. Let me use the camera controls on that one. It's one neat thing I could take a look at, seeing like which driver is in what in these cars. So that way, if I do forget or I have a little hiccup, at least we can check it out and see what we got there. I'm gonna say right now, though, when you're driving this race, you're driving these next gens. This is all about teamwork, and this is all about using the proper equipment and using the proper team management. Teams here very crucial to the #1 stage and #1 game plan, which is getting to victory lane. And a field like this, if you see yourself with a team like Savati, Kervan, Brown, and Robinson all leading the pack up, then I think you know you've either got friends that you can work with, or you've got yourself a whole lot of trouble to have to get around. For Dylan Irvan, though, I think his main focus is just keeping the race lane in check and keeping himself in place for a targeted shot. You saw him earlier, though. He was driving pretty aggressively, having to go to the outside line just to try to keep up speed, try and keep up distance. And the travel gain really helps him out, but at the same time, is that going to be enough? Drivers getting last minute pit stops in right now. Field coming back on out. Noah Howland and Robert Kenny. They are the two odd mans out of this one. Robert Kenny's calling this one a day. Noah Howland stays on out. Actually, I take that back. Number 10, Robert Kenny's going to come back out on the track, so he's going to be a few laps down, though. The damage is very significant to his crew. Field coming right back on around here. Set the tone, set the field in, and the drivers are now ready to go back to the green. Off restart zone, back to the field, and we're back on our way. Well, 1/10 of the way there so far, but a lot of racing still to go. Up on the outside already. Looks like that 11's not exactly wanting to wait around anytime soon. There you see him moving on in. TJ Roberts absolutely guns blazing the machine up to the front. And the Jocko Go Chevrolet Camaro trying to get a boost, a little bit of a speed up on Robertson and Savati as well as Kirpan there. Everyone going up to that top side though. I'm surprised no one's trying to take the bottom lane, as now you see that might be flexing up to be a danger of pace. The 95 now going right there with them. And so is Matthew Robinson. He's going to try to line it up here. Excuse me, not Matthew Robinson, but Brock Savati in the 97. Lines it up. Will Robinson try to line it up there with him and try to get the team in place? I'm not really sure. I would want to try to get all the team into that group in that order right now and then have to try to find a way to block everyone out, because again, these drivers may not be appreciative of that too much. And now it looks like the Pan Drafting Act starting to get a little bit of a push here, a little bit of a runoff here. The Ford Mustangs with that less of a narrowed end edge on the front end, and more of that push bar, push draft spot. Less some curved edges and more bent in squared body shapes. Even though they're still very rounded on the front, those Mustangs have the advantage here on tracks like this because they can use those bumpers to their advantage and push up a little and push around the track. I think that's exactly what that 57 of Rodriguez and the rest of the field were hoping for and they were looking to get, but that is still your race leader driving the old big full tough Ford Mustang. Irvon now with a big push here to Savati. Savati and then huge run coming down through turn number 3 as the teammates literally using their wits, using their skills, using their advantage to everything they've got. The 94 here though, Matthew Robinson staying on down. He doesn't want anything to do with his teammates just yet as the field will worked up. Oh, no! And the 83 of Joseph David, he having a good run there coming from the Klein Tools end. Bunch it right up to the front though, hold on. Whew. Got extremely lucky, no one got into him there. That was a close call. Yikes. Let's take a look at this one. Looked like a late block here, maybe a little bit of a push. And I don't know about that one actually. I take that way back. David looked like he was trying to make his way around Vervaden. And look at him, he's coming right back up the track here and I thought he was on Seclever when I didn't realize there were drivers behind. He got extremely lucky. He did not take any of those drivers with him, and that is very fortunate there. That was a very, very close call. And again, a lot of it has to do with the fact that these brakes on these next gens don't exactly like to stop you on a dime like some of the other cars. You have to actually kind of temper with them a little bit. They are a different set of brakes. Right though where the 17 is, you can see he took that bump, took it like a champ. He wasn't having any of it. And stopped the car on a dime and couldn't even get it to stop when he needed it to, but man, that was a wild ride there for Mr. Joseph Davidi. Unfortunately, 83 will be sent packing down on the bottom end. He'll have some troubles down there to be sure. Hopefully he's able to get it out of pit road after that tow and maybe get himself some positions and bit of a chance here. That's a tough break though, to say the least here. You never want to see a driver like that go through that scenario, go through that circumstance, but in that pressure area and in that line of sight, man, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, he thought he had the run, he thought he had the position, but clearly it was not all the way there, and you can even see Hervad now looking to go in and take and inspect the damage on that number 17 machine. Their pole setter today, unfortunately, looks like he's going to have a little bit of damage to clean up. I think he just wants to get it out of the way now instead of later on where it could be a lot more tricky and difficult. Looks like he might take some tires here. Yep, he's going to take all 4 tires. He followed in there with Matthew Robinson, surprisingly. So, fuel and tires, we'll see how those two play out here. As TJ Roberts comes on now, looks like Herbatin just took his fuel and tires, only a little bit of damage cleaned up. The Mango Mayhem 11 of Jocko Go is going to be TJ Roberts coming out ahead of him, though, just by Maryland Marinich. Yeah, remember what I said earlier about that team scenario? Savati, Brown, Kerfan, Eddie Morris, top four, they're all teammates. Now the good news is, again, is that not all their crew members are up in the front, so they still have to work together a little bit. They still have to kind of perform a little bit of a block handle or scenario to kind of push in with. This is a very delicate procedure and very big move they're going to have to be careful about. So, double file back in for the restart zone. Every driver now looking to field in position, get themselves squared away. Feeling them on back in. Christopher Hupka saying, "Hey, Chris, Miss PTM." Hey, Chris, it's good to hear from you, sir. Yeah, we miss you too, bud. Over here on the show, we haven't seen you race in quite some time. You'll have to get back on that wheel sometime, start wheeling it around here. We miss you, buddy. For those that don't know, Hupka used to be a big driver here, not only from the BackFire end of this, but actually it was long ago. He was part of our very first crew drivers that we ever featured on PTM Racing TV. Yep, he's been here since the start of our inception and the start of our entire broadcasting careers. And I don't know about you, but I think we've improved at least quite a bit, my friend. He's saying I'll make a special appearance at BackFire one of these days. I'm holding you to that one, my friend. Field are going to bring him right around down off turn number 4, that front straightaway of the tri-oval. Lining up back up into position now. It's time to lay the charges up, fire them away. Seatbelts clocked, clicked in. Let's go racing. Cocks locked and ready to rock. Let's get them down on the turn front straightaway down turn number 1. Javati, Kerfan, Brown, Morris, they all ready. No surprise here. Lined up their draft, lined up their speeds, but there's a murderous row of drivers already in pursuit. Glamour to the speeds, glamour to the momentum here. The drivers now moving right to the chains, going for everything they've got, looking for a position or two where they can get it. Trying to stabilize it down here, trying to get some momentum kicked as well here. Dylan Hervad, your #1 qualifier, already doing some pushing and some shoving to get right through this field. Working with Christian Roos a little bit here, trying to help himself out. Matthew Rodriguez out of turn 4 on that front straightaway. You saw him smash the Steak and Shake 57 into the wall protection on the outside. And now a little 3 wide scenario popping up. Chris Papa here on the 1-3-13 Team Speed Machine. Trying to stay out of trouble and trying to stay out of the way of these guys. He knows what they're up to and he knows what they're trying to get going. And he saw what happened earlier on. I think his game plan here is rather simple. Don't get caught in the traps. Don't get caught in the issues. Focus on you and focus on your track line. Certainly not a bad idea to be thinking about. Certainly not a bad idea to be really aiming towards, especially considering what he's got to deal with here. Drivers pushing up to the front yet again here. We'll take a look at the Alan Ward camera here with TJ Robertson 11 as he will bring us to our favorite time of the day, their favorite time to go around the track. Race fans, I think you know what time it is. Let's crank it up a little bit around here on PTM Racing TV. Boy, you can just feel all that power, all that momentum swaying right through the field, moving their chains on down into angles and spots where you really think you wouldn't be able to put a car at. Much less be able to shake a stick at, but yet the stars still find a way to just get it done around these parts. Two-man, two-group fields now starting to be prevalent, starting to be pushed on around the track a little bit here. Dylan McNally, number 38, one of them here with Carl Haywork, the 51 as well. Wes Fuller here, Mama Fuller's boy here, staying out of trouble and keeping very, very close eye and tabs on those ahead of him. He knows what they're up to. He doesn't want anything to do with the madness. He doesn't want to do with anything that involves chaos and construction on his car and on his equipment. And really, you can't blame him. You saw earlier on just what these drivers were doing out of the gate. Knowingly just kind of putting themselves into harm's way, knowingly just kind of put themselves into the wrong place at the wrong time. So as a driver, I wouldn't expect anything less out of everyone else kind of thinking the same thing that I would be thinking in that angle, which is don't worry about who's behind you, worry about who's in front of you. And when you see something like this in front of you, that's when you start to really kind of question yourself. Do you either A, go for the run, or B, do you back off and either try to get out of the mess, try to get out of the situation, or find yourself in another situation here as Matthew Robinson and then 94 with troubles down here. Looks like down in turn number 3 and 4 here. He'll park it up off the track here, gets it down to the bottom here. There is no caution though. So surprisingly enough here, the 94 Part of the JKR Motorsports crew unfortunately slowed down a little bit, kind of lost his grip on his reins. How much of that will chop down to later on, who knows, but at the moment he's going to have to kind of accept what is coming his way for his fate, which is he's lost all the momentum, he's lost all that speed and ground he made on these drivers as much as he made with this team. Oh, and a huge wreck down turn number 4 on the front straightaway here. Thaddeus Marshall clipped in as well. He's a part of the wreck here. And the 87 thrown into a really ugly little spot there. A little troublesome spot to be stuck into. Not sure exactly what happened to the 87. We'll take a look at the PTM Racing replay and see about that one. Looks like the 84 kind of clipped his right side area, the passenger side door panel slash the wheel panel there. Once that fender got kind of clipped in, he really didn't have much else he could do there. Take another look at it here from another angle and see if we could get a good look at this one as he got clipped in. See right there, he pretty much just kind of got the punt, got kind of the boot. Everyone else making their way around him and just staying out of trouble, but doesn't necessarily mean that it was not intentionally a little bit on the fishy side there. Not really sure if the 84 had meant to flip him there, if he just kind of clipped his wings, but unfortunately that will slow everyone back down in position and slow them back down on the spot. Lead back going into pit road now, so now drivers are going to have to make the obvious question: do they go to pits or do they go towards the front half of this track? And it looks like TJ Roberts is going to use that strategy he thought of earlier on as his getaway vehicle. Zach O'Malley, Cole Martin, and Noah Howland will follow in line. Bit of an interesting gamble here, of course, with only about 70 laps remaining here at Talladega. May not seem like a whole lot, but again, 70 laps on a track that's 2.6 miles plus in length. I mean, this is obviously the biggest track, whole circuit-wise, in the entire world. But that also means one thing is for sure, and that is they're going to be fighting a lot of different strategies, which is either A, getting the fuel at a certain time in a certain place, one of those cautions, and hoping you had enough of it, or B, it's actually kind of timing the laps, timing positions with the drivers, and going from there to really stay up front, kind of maximize your potential. But not only that, having a little bit less fuel inside that car actually makes things a lot easier and a lot more interesting when it comes to building speed quicker versus slower. You see, like iRacing, like we said before about how a simulation kind of traverses itself, there is one big thing that they take note of here, and that is the 75% fuel is actually a little bit lighter feeling if you actually drove a car like this out of the track. Actually, it's a slightly bit lighter feeling than it would on 100%. It's not a huge difference. You can still feel a good chunk of it. You can still feel a good amount of it. And as you start to burn the tires in a little bit and burn the fuel up more, it actually really starts to become very prevalent. Just how quickly it changes up on you. So field now, getting the picture, getting everything squared away, stage brakes Definitely going to be making a bit of a game changer, a bit of a handful for these guys as they start to really wear and tear out on the track, really start to get a closer grip and ideal of what they're going to do here. Field, bringing everyone closer together, bringing the field down in a little bit. Offset the corners, offset the cars here. Kyle Hamburg returning to the lead lap. He's one of the only 24 drivers left on the track here, and he's one of the only folks that will be on lead lap contention here. So 24 on lead. Robert Kenny and Joseph Davidi, the only two other drivers that did make the starting grid today, unfortunately. Not quite in the ballpark that what they wanted, were hoping for. Patrick McQuay was hoping to get in the race here, but again had suddenly been called up to help out with work and everything. So our best wishes to him, and hopefully he is okay there. Bringing it right around off of turn number 4 as time on by. Green flag back on out. Back to the fight. Back into the fray. Mammoth runs coming down on the track side here. Lining him down off from turn number 2. Down into turn number 3 here. The field's starting to get a little bit closer up. Cole Martin with a little bit of a push here from Aaron Brown and that whole JKR Motorsports crew. A bit of an interesting little gamble here for the 45. Not sure maybe that will be able to play out just enough to win this race out for him, but boy, he's sure going to make a very, very big little move here. Trying to push and shove his way up into that front, make other drivers kind of question what he's going to do next. The 45 having to slow down a little bit, lost his speed, lost his ground here. You got to be left like a man out on an island. Griffon, Brown, Savati, TJ Roberts, Zach Camilla, and Matthew Robinson all getting closer and closer up into the ridge, up to the field. 21 and Noah Howland right now looking towards the inside of that 26 for Blake Howell. Blake not exactly giving him a lot of room, much less any breathing room up there. Blake Howell starting to fall back from the pack just a little bit here, starting to fall away in line. Drivers now trying to get as much of a grip and trying to get as much of a pace and build up as they can. Double filed up on the run here. Brown to the bottom. Tom Bourne up top. Going airborne. Looking to try to get himself some speed, give himself some run there. Can't quite get it to go though. Pushing the draft right around here up top side. Yet again, the 11 of Roberts here struggling to keep up distance, trying to keep up the control of the car. Again, with these next-gen Cup cars, we've been talking about it time and time again here on the show. But this change, this update, this package, everything, it has really kick-started something bigger than I think any of us were realizing would go down. And to be honest with you, I'm very happy to say that I'm part of this and I'm part of that kind of run they bring it to the table. Wide salute yet again, pop side down on the bottom, and yeah, Papa right in the mixture of hit. No, not Papa the fourth, as you may have seen from that Ghost car. Now the Xfinity Series will be popping up here at Phoenix this weekend, but no, that is actually Chris Papa. That's in his name, not Papa Esmeraldas the fourth, obviously. Although to be clear, I really would love to get that die-cast car if someone could find it for me. Literally, as soon as I was about to buy it, they sold out. Like, I was literally yelling at my computer for that one. I cannot believe they sold out that quickly. So if anyone has that die-cast when it comes out or knows where to find it, let me know. And what we wanted here, and unfortunately there's something else I think these guys may want, which may be buying a new car here in a minute. The 21 of Noah Hallett smack dab in the wall. Drivers trying to escape and avoid, and they find their way around the track. But that does not say the same for the damaged up number 21. Oh my, took a huge hit there, and thankfully there is a fast repair to be able to be used. But Noah certainly did not expect this. This is just something you're going to see all day long, is the pushing, the shoving, the banging, the bumping. And drivers, you know, they're going to get a little bit loose, but they're also going to get a little bit tight. You can see Roos is trying to get back in there. Howland is trying to keep away from doing anything too crazy there. Instead, he had to find himself kind of doing something a little too crazy. A little slip actually cut the whole rear end out of there. Took his whole rear end with him, just that little slight little cut there. Now I'll take a look at the 57 here. Or excuse me, that looks like that was the, yeah, that actually was the 57's ride there. We'll take a look at Rodriguez's onboard camera here. I was gonna say that might have been doing her bad and the wreck, but I think that was 57 here, Rodriguez. Both cars very similar looking if it doesn't make it obvious enough. No, but this was Rodriguez. Yep, it was 57, kind of got clipped off, kind of sent down around, and you see he took some damage there, unfortunately, on the right side, then got clipped on his driver's side. So passenger and driver's side suffering some damage in the process in the car. Well, that's kind of the end result of him. Unfortunately, that Steak and Shake 57 is badly damaged, and this is not going to vote well for any of his crew or any of his team that he was trying to really push up to the front. So the field will have to march their way back on around here yet again and just kind of square things up. This has really just been a test of endurance and patience here for a lot of these drivers. And that's one of the biggest things that I feel like kind of really make it much more difficult to have to shoot the strain and shoot the shots with. There's not a lot of openings, not a lot of areas of play, and there's a lot more areas of problem mag zones to deal with and kind of go with than I would say we can really stick a stick at. And it looks like Mike Corvo over there might be introducing himself to the CLM movement down there, because he went down there and took the cone out. Extra little advantage of speed in his mind, but in many other terms in the CLM movement, they do not care for that move at all. last wreck was your fourth caution of the day here from the race-wise. Stage break-wise, definitely has not transpired just yet to my knowledge. Corvo earlier on had quite a bit of a run, quite a bit of speed. Even matching up as we would think with Kirvan Zavati and your race leader right now in the 95, Aaron Brown. Setting positions now, set back to the field here. Drivers have gotten their lines back on track here. There are no choose your rules yet in iRacing, so they are not letting drivers doing that whatsoever and having to figure out which one goes where and where everyone goes from there. They're going to have everyone squared back in position and set to go. Field farther down on that turn 4 exit here on that front straightaway. As a pit car comes off down into pit road here. Double filed up restart, drivers looking to gain speed, gain ground, gain momentum here and looking for everything they've got on this restart. Nearly halfway done with this race. And still yet so much more to go. On down to the green flag restart zone, and we are back underway. Firing them up down that back straightaway here, and yet again the team's just manipulating and using their run, using their stroke on the track. But again, that doesn't mean anything if you got guys behind you trying to take you down a few notches here. Sydney Brown coming on board saying go Comilla. A little love down there for the Comilla crew. Right now they are firing hard, firing quick, but they're still a little bit in the back of the pack here. Moving to the field here right now, drivers going high up, high alert, everyone looking for a runoff, looking for positions. Zach Camilla, did I just mention that he was in the back of the pack a little bit? Well, I think I might have to restructure my my glasses and make sure that they're cleaned up a little bit, because right now he is moving in 8th and 9th. He's got a whole run coming right up at it. He locked up horned with the 96 here of Eddie Morris here, and Morris right now currently holding the bottom lane for his team, trying to hope they can dash their way around. Aggressive driving now really getting put to good use here as the field starts to work their way closer on the end of the extra. Aaron Brown with a spicy, salty win here. He's just not giving an inch here on that lap. Lap 36 belongs to him. Big pressure moments coming up. Zach Camilla now, the one we just saw, learned about rooting on for Sidney Brown now, has actually gained a whole lot just a run. Looks like he might be listening in, seeing that that's where he wants to. He needs to start showing something to his team and his family. His friends rooting him on, and his family giving them all the love back to it. Camilla now on top side, middle rung. Looking to try and take Aaron Brown down a few notches here. He's definitely got it up there. Chris Papa right behind him, though, is not laying into it too much. He just wants to stay focused, stay clear of the nose. Little bumper dragging, little bumper pushing here. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Just give it everything you got. And Papa knows this. Kind of that tandem draft push he saw. Chevy's and the Ford working pretty well together here. Some pretty good moving and some pretty good charging, but again, is that going to be enough here coming later on to really work around the troubles and the added perspective that is extremely tough to work down on these next gen Cup cars? You're on board Jocko Go Cam right now, showing you just what it's like when you're a man without a run, without a couple of folks behind you to keep yourself supported in. This draft here is extremely aerodynamic dependent and extremely dependent on drivers helping themselves out. Not to say that you can't get a run on your own. Obviously, we've seen before where just that little bit of push, that little bit of run will help out. It looks like 1-3 team now is trying to show something up to them JKR boys. Chris Papa for the first time today will take over the race lead. The 1-3 Speed Demon Machine, the number 1. He'll take one spot. He's in 10. He was 10 spots back earlier on. No trouble there anymore as his teammate Dylan Hervan literally right behind him. He's the pole setter here today, with of course Blake Howell being really further in the back more than anyone else. He started 23rd. And by the way, he's a hard charger of the day, just for that move alone of what he's been up to. A little bit of bumping, a little banging, a little pushing around the track side. They go. Nobody giving out, no one giving in. Some last minute rallies here now from the field. Field trying to get a little bit crazier, a little bit more dialed up on this track surface here again. Looks like we really got only 2 teams and some stranders that have been just kind of hanging around back here, like the 11 TJ Roberts. I guess you could say he's an honorary driver when it comes to working with Zach Camella here. And even the only 2 drivers that are not a part of these teams going on, JKR Motorsports and 1-3 Speed. We knew going into this race here, obviously, that this was going to be kind of a battle between controlling and distances. And it looks like there are some more problems down there here for the 84 Cliff Corvo Jr. Problems, and it looks like they're going to throw a caution flag out here for that. And we're going to see why that was the case here. Hold on just one moment as the PTM replay shows all and tells all. And it looks like really this was all due to just a little bit of pushing and banging, it looks like, maybe on that 38. Oh. Okay, I'm not really sure if that was, oh man. That hard hit right there in the number 84, smacked out right into the wall protection, entering into pit road. I'm not really sure if he meant to do that or that was one of those just kind of had me kind of coming down a little bit moments, but take a look at the replay here. You can see the 38 gave him a little bit of a push here, a little bit of a power base. Drifts the 84 up, tries to get the bumper run to work. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we can get a spotter on that one, or maybe we can listen in to the cars here, but that was definitely a little suspicious there. Dylan McDonald definitely got taken for a ride. Unfortunately, though, he had nowhere he could go, nowhere he can get out of. Just took a wild hit there and took a wild reach in the controls under the car. Field gonna get squared away again here and take care of their equipment, take care of their property and all that they got going on down on the track. Pit road is opened up and drivers are gonna head on down in there. It's gonna be interesting to kind of see who goes in when, who goes in where, and who does what here. Matthew Robinson, all of them parking it down at pit road right out of the gate. 1-3 Speed 17, Dylan Batten. Much of the same. And again, a lot of these drivers are probably wondering, like, wait a minute, aren't they on a plate track? Why do they need to take tires? Well, remember a little while ago at Daytona International Speed with those Chevy Power Equipment Cup Series drivers? Remember how some of them actually had said point blank those right sides get burnt up and they're pretty hard to kind of control and master, especially considering that they only have so much speed to work with? Well, they have not forgot about that here, nor have these guys here. They were definitely paying close attention to tires as well as fuel. So tires are making a bit of a difference maker and a bit of a change up in regards for this here. Ricky Gonzalez in the 48 now will be the next in line to challenge those up front. And the halfway point will be reached on this next restart zone. So the sequential shifters here of these next gen cup cars being certainly installed and thrown out here on the track. Again, sequential versus an H-pattern shifter, very two different keen aspects of racing. Generally, the sequential has been more known for its harder in the rallycross ends here, as well as some of the racing you would see down, of course, on the road course side of tracks. And again, this car was more designed for kind of road course Italia style. Many drivers, myself included, always look for the overall picture, look for the kind of the overall get here you can bring to the table. Double file back into restart zone, category up, and the drivers are now in this one looking to start up the field, start up the fight. Into the fray, into the series, and into the circuit. Looking for a big opening, looking for any kind of corner off, looking kind of speed they can build up. Pace car off yet again down on the front straightaway here. Drivers are ready to engage up once more as we're approaching halfway end of this meeting today at Talladega. For the restart zone, looking for it to pop right back up on in. They're looking for the run, they're looking for the speed. Green flag back on out. We're about to find it all. Kind of hard to call the race sometimes when you just kind of get lost into that work, into that fray here. Just watching these drivers go back and forth, running it hard as they can on the front side here, looking for any kind of speed and momentum. Green, white, salute, double filed in here now on the back stretch here. Drivers still finding any kind of openings they can get. Time equivalence being close, time equivalence very offsetted, off-footed here. We are completely halfway into this race. Can we get just a little bit closer to maybe ending that one out? That remains to be unknown. The unknown is truly one of those things that we just never can seem to figure out, never seem to get a grip on. Double foul down there. Brown right on the top side here. Yet again, still field moving up closer with the track side. Dylan Herbatin in a 3-wide panic attack salute yet again. Trying to find some run, trying to find some momentum, but again, getting stuck in that little drift end, a little packed part. That really is what kind of hurts these drivers more than anything, in my opinion, because they're literally thinking that it will go their way again and they'll get some speed to build up momentum. But again, really with these next gens, some of that momentum is actually built up just by pushing the car around a little bit and pushing the driver just slightly ahead. That's where teams really come into play. That's where you really can get them to line up with you, line these speeds up at a great deal and a great pace. And then from there, it's all about just how you work the rest of the field in. A little bit of a close-off gap side, running from the back to the outhouse up to the White House. We got a little run from Nick Biddy here in the 85. Started back in qualifying, at least back in the number 7 slot, but he's pretty much unfortunately fell kind of short of the mark a few times here. Getting himself fired and trapped in a fired up and trapped in a slot he could not get going from or keep going to get out of. Bob Martin right now looking like he might be kind of trying to move the chains a little bit, trying to move a little bit more towards the middle than outside. Saw earlier though what happens if you go a little too much to the outside really quickly here. Solid on the gun, solid on the bubble, and on the momentum train here. It looks like now the packs have closed up anything that those teams were building up earlier. Every single one of these drivers is looking for something here. Even the 10 of Robert Kenny, who literally earlier on got trapped in one of the first wrecks of the day, has now worked his way back on out of the fray. We saw that lapping last night as well. The number 5 of Chris Wally would end up getting kind of struggling out of the gate here with a little bit of a problem getting out of the pit road. But when he got out, he started to move the chains and started moving drivers around like there was nothing. Are we seeing a similar feat with the one I had just mentioned there just a second ago with Robert Kenny? Well, it is mine. He certainly thinks so, because now he will do the unthinkable and take the race lead away. Damaged car or not, even with that one pass repair, you still have to find a way to clock laps down in. You gotta find a way to clock this track in as good as you can. Tom Bourne, Dylan Ravan, Robert Kenny now moving closer and closer through the field into the march. Down through the fray here. Kenny trying, and I mean trying, to hold the 17 Dylan Ravan over the top side here, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to get away this time. Unfortunately, spun right off on turn number 4 on the front straightaway. Past that tri-oval, I should say. The tri-oval section for Kenny, unfortunately, had been his undoing here in this one. And I don't really know who started or who got the opening. It looked like maybe Tom Horn might have edged him there. Let's see what happened there exactly again. Our angle here, it looked like he was pushing and shoving. He was getting put down to the bottom lane there. It looked like he actually was getting tagged from the guys behind him, JKR's Motorsports crew. I think they're pretty lucky that Kenny only had spun where he did instead of right in front like we saw earlier. That would have definitely took a lot of guys out of this one. Slightly clipped the left wing out of there. Clipped the left rear fender. And that was pretty much all she wrote for that little segment there. But that was a pretty good run there for Robert Kennedy. Unfortunately, just now has to find himself in the innocuous task of trying to get back up to the front, despite the fact that he literally just charged it up there as hard as he did a minute ago. Field going into pit road right now, so it's going to be interesting to see who plays this one on in. Drivers are just really, in my opinion, really kind of figuring out what they want to do with the tires or what they want to do with the fuel. Again, the fast pairs wise, there's only one, so they know they can't get too crazy there. But that's a straight shot out of pit road. Dylan Hervan will beat out the field here. Chris Papa will follow in the second line. Brock Savati, Tom Bourne, Christian Bruce, TJ Roberts, Eddie Morris, and looks like Ricky Gonzalez will be your 10th slot there. Out of the field, Matthew Robinson and Nick Biddy stayed out. Dylan Hervan on a fresher set of tires as well as a fresh set of fuel could be the difference maker here, but we will have to see here in just a minute. Alright, race fans, back here yet again. Dylan Hervad and Nick Biddy will be your two front runners leading the field down on the charge here as the, I guess maybe 994 Matthew Robinson deciding to finally get back out here. Went to go get a drink of water real quick, kind of help the whistle out a little bit, kind of let it kind of free flow once more. So we do apologize for the camera angle getting kind of stuck there. Unfortunately, being a one-man crew, there's not much I can really do there. Believe me, we tried to hire a second person on with us. We used to actually have like 2 or 3 drivers and broadcasters or commentators with us at all times back on the NASCAR heat days. But when we jumped over to iRacing, it seemed like that went completely out the window and got flipped on around. So field worked their way on around here yet again, down off turns number 3 into turn number 4. As the field forgets and brigades their way around Talladega, 94 laps the distance here today was their initial game plan, their initial goal. But if I'm to be honest with you, if I'm to be very clear with you, I think their biggest goal was to really just keep these cars in one piece. Gotta watch out for anything too conclusive, too crazy here. Off the restart zone, back him on by yet again here. Green flag is out once more. Kind of a very interesting little position or two. I would have really have thought that the first half would have been kind of the slowed down section, kind of more looking towards intertwining drivers from the field into position. But now it seems like here going to the second half, that's actually what they're up to now. They're just trying to set the cars up because they know that once they repair, maybe they're gone or it is really going to be null and void when they absolutely need it. Remember, they do use the instant repair. They have to be in pit road, so it doesn't mean that just because they get a tow, they'll get it right out of the gate. Oh no, it's making it get it right out of the gate. Trouble down there for the 99. Alexander Jacob Fon crashed on by yet more. We've got trouble. And the 99 at Grafana guaranteed, definitely not too thrilled about this one here. We'll take a look at the PTM Racing replay and see what exactly went down here. Looks like he might have drove it down a little too quick for even the 45. Seems like he had a run. Oh, looks like actually the 45 kind of came up, clipped him. That's one thing the JKR Motorsports crew does not need right now is these circumstances, is these kind of situations popping up on their end there. See, switching it from that fourth gear into the fifth. And everything's straight here. So yeah, I definitely was not Grafana that went right down low of him. He was actually straightened out pretty rather nicely. Gar should have been in a decent little spot, but it still would take the punishment. You would still take the heartbreak away as the 45 gets a clip of him and takes him downtown to the Shadow Realm. Matthew Robinson, the 94, will still be a race there with Dylan Ravatin in that second slot if he does not decide to go into pit road here. I think it's kind of a telling tale here if you go into pit road like right about now. And that's going to be what the 94 Roberts is going to do here. I think a little bit has to do with one thing on his plate, which is he knows the overall circumstance, the situation popping up on his end. He knows he's going to have to start being a little bit more clever, a little bit more careful on his fuel and his speeds here with the tires. Again, there's only 75% of fuel in these cars, which if I did my math right, I think is about 35-ish laps at that. On a full fuel run, maybe about 20 laps, maybe about 25, 27 laps there. Yeah, it's a good chunk at least. They'll force you to pit road at least 3 times, no matter what. And that just goes for fuel only. So the rest of the crew right now getting squared up here. We'll have about 34 laps remaining here on the show when we get to the next go around. So field moving their way down off turns 3 and 4, marking their territory up. Having to get settled back down with the transponders, transducers as well. I do apologize again in the long breaks here. It is a little bit later than it usually is here from my end, and unfortunately, right after here we gotta head back to the normal day-to-day life and routine here off of this race. So just kind of having to save the voice, kind of save himself a little bit. So you will hear me kind of tune out when we're under the caution flags, under the caution lights. Won't be in the race, so I promise that much. You'll be hearing still the good speeds and good control and everything, but you'll be hearing me still chat up as I usually do here. Waiting for the green flag restarts, though. They ain't waiting down there very long. They're going to go running it hard down on the ends. Green flag back down. They're already pushing the chains up. Christian Roos right now putting it right up there with Dylan Hervatin, but Nick Biddy in the 85 getting a little bit of help from the bottom lane. Tom Airborne. He is going straight for the moon. He's aiming for the top. He's aiming for the sky. The sky is the limit when Bourne comes to town. Don Bourne right now with the run here off of turn number 3. Getting a good jump here with Biddy. 3 wide and blue as Zach Camilla now comes in on the middle section. Camilla literally looking for any kind of opening, looking for any kind of shots he can strike with it. He knows he's got plenty of opportunities, plenty of room to do it. Devon Tucky, number 55, though, also kind of close into the draft package. Nicholas Panico, that is. He is still looking for some run, looking for some speed and creative work around the circuit. Scoreboard going a little bit crazier. That's just because drivers are getting shuffled back on by. It's happened pretty much a lot of the night. You may have noticed, you may not have noticed, depending on where you're kind of coming from, where you're kind of seeing it from as well. There are multiple angles to the way these broadcasts, these races work. Some see it better than others, and some just cannot really catch everything that happens. Savazzi now, huge run right at the field, right on line and on target. Todd right out down on the track side, really moving these cars up as hard as they can, for as much as they can, if you will. They're trying to make sure that your car does not get caught up in the really ugly situation, ugly circumstances. I've noticed that really the biggest thing that they've been wanting to do here has been really the timing, really been the overall control and the statistics and efficiency that they have to have just to even keep a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of shot on the line. 30 minutes left on the clock. Or excuse me, 30 minutes left on the lap stack here. That should be about 30 minutes in total these drivers have to go through and have to deal with here in this case. 1 hour and a half nearly almost completed up on the racing side of things. And we were supposed to go live a little bit earlier on, I will admit up front, but we did have some technical difficulties and some issues, unfortunately, that had to get resolved there. Once they were resolved, everyone was ready to go racing. And then just shoot it on down, let them fight it out amongst themselves, and that's kind of how it all played out there. Zach Camilla right now, your racer. Christian Bruce following from the other side, while Mike Corbeau really, to this point, just doing his own little giddy up, his own little fight back here after earlier on with Cliff Corbeau. Bit of a draft Exon zone on the bottom. Earlier on I saw the outside, looked like it had a little bit more grip, a little bit more consistency overall. But again, here on this side of things, that don't mean nothing here. At this moment, you've gotten some laps down, the rubber is laid down on the track here, the tires are burning up more, the fuel is starting to burn out a little bit. But also, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because a little bit of that Mother Nature circumstances gotta change the way the landscape of the track goes, and this is exactly what you don't want to see, is a big cloud of smoke and a whole lot of mess and to clean up after this one. Oh my, multiple cars involved in this one. What on earth has happened? Besides, obviously, the one that we know, which is the big one at Talladega, this was a huge, huge mistake. And, oh boy, Christian Roos definitely clipped him quite a bit there. And well, maybe just feeling like the luckiest man alive getting away from that mess. Not a lot of drivers exactly getting away from it, though. Yeah, I just talked about Mike really making some big moves and some big charges here. And then all of a sudden, I think I gave him the old broadcaster curse and challenged him on it. He had such a good run leading up to the front, leading up to that position. You can just see right here, this was what did him in. Kind of what we saw Chase Elliott in previous time as well as Joey Logano and all them and many other drivers that have dared try to block a Daytona. There's just not a lot of breathing room. There's not a lot of open areas to really circumvent that pressure point, that kind of problematic zone. And Cliff Corveau realized now that that was definitely where he didn't want it to go. Field heading into pit road right now. Pretty much the entire field has squared themselves away down there. Dylan Irvan, after that huge little wreck there, will have to figure out if he's going to take some cleanup job on that, or if he's going to use the instant, or he'll leave it completely out. But Zach Camella will take the spot away from him, as well as T.J. Roberts, Ricky Gonzalez, Aljac Irfan. And coming out yet again here, looks like Dylan Irvan will keep at least his 5th place spot, so that will help him out tremendously on the next run. So now the field has to get kind of squared back in position here yet again. Drivers will have a lot to think about here. Field cars now paced down off the front straightaway here. 25 laps remain here at Talladega Superspeedway. And a whole host of drivers right now just trying to not use their cars up, destroy them anymore. They already have been 16 on the lead lap. Many drivers after that big wreck there cost precious time. That loss of precious time, loss of speed and momentum now is going to start waning on these drivers left and right. Going to really make them start questioning whether or not it's smart to be doing some of these big moves. We've always talked about, you know, kind of the old guard, kind of trying to teach these youngsters, trying to teach them just, you know, maybe at times really slow up and really think about what they're doing. Not just with their equipment, but also what they're doing to themselves out there. But, you know, whether you like it or not, really, I don't think there's any way of getting around it. That old school hardship racing nature, it's kind of become a bit of the lowest end of the side of things, the status of racing, whereas everything else has been always just go full on out, full on charge, full on racing. That's the way you did it back when you're starting out. That's the way you started back when you're going into the sport. But again, there's one thing I will try to reiterate here is these next gens are not a huge fan of trying to play an extreme speed gain route. These things extremely difficult to deal with and extremely difficult to kind of work around in this case here for what they bring to the table. But, you know what they say, over time I think we'll start to get that squared away and things will start to get a bit better as we are now approaching with only 23 laps remain here. Drivers are still really kind of figuring these cars out, still kind of really get a grip of things. And again, working on a track like this is not exactly an easy task. It still is a very next situation. Christian Rose saying, watch 13 in-car cam on that. I forgot, I did not have time to get to it here, so I do apologize for that, Bruce. But I can give you these 13 onboard camera car right now here. Let's show you what's going on with him as he tries to pilot right at the number 18. Well, currently just barely edging him out here a little bit, but now you see the one coming up towards his end. Coming hard on the ends, on down to the front straightaway here. Driver's still aiming towards position, aiming towards any kind of run out they can get. Has yet to have been any kind of real major malfunctions or any real big problems down there. Other than really what could be considered kind of the obvious, which is just trying not to overdo themselves, not trying to get too ahead of it. They have to stay in the moment, kind of stay focused on their chances, stay focused on their race rights here. Coming right down on the bottom lane here, Dylan Hervado with a huge burst of speed, huge run and gain on the drivers. Maybe looking towards kind of just hanging in there a bit, maybe trying to push up as far as they can. "21 laps remain here on PTM Racing TV. How quick things go from big pack drivers to big race, to big group moments and bigger spotlights here. Everything has completely been changed. Notoriety-wise has been kind of flipped on its head for many of these folks out here because they still are not too sure what kind of name these drivers can bring for themselves, especially when they have all those kind of problems they had earlier on, which is just staying patient, staying under control. I get it, obviously, play tracks wide. You can't really be too conservative on how you race your opponent, how you race up against your drivers. But there is still kind of a fine line, kind of a way to get too timid. And the 48, Ricky Gonzalez, getting clipped up big time here in the 48. No caution, though, thrown. Still no cautions yet. Take a look at the replay here. We'll see what happened with the Gonzalez camp. And you can see right here, big draft coming up from the 95. And once again, right, you saw earlier on, just kind of that one little click, that one little hit. That's all she wrote. That was all she wrote, and that's all she can gain, she can get from it. The single file car draft behind all of us there by about a half a mile. Like now, it's going to be about 19 laps to go. So many positions, so many opportunities, so much of a chance here to start really thinking about those big moves now, because again, we are coming up finally past 20 laps to go. We've hit the spot where really I feel like it's kind of that sweet end of the bargain, the sweet end of the deal. Let drivers just do their own things, worry about themselves later. Things starting to get a little bit more heated up. Drivers starting to get a little bit more impatient with each other. You see Mike Ravode's damaged already badly done up on his car. Had to get down to the bottom lane there and get out of the way of the drivers. He knew his car was pretty much too totaled up and too much of a risk to really kind of race around like this, because he knew he'd be off pace and off centered. But he's not quitting yet. He's not going to give up. He's going to go into pit road this next go around when he gets a chance here. Laps remain now. Remember, top 3 will be interviewed with me here on the show once we get done with this race. Giving them a fair chance here. 16 laps left. And it's anybody's race, really, in my mind, or in my mind's eye. It says, like, this guy or girl is going to go ahead and win this one out. Now, ladies in the field, but the men represent well still for their crew and stuff, still building up to the speeds as they reel them off down the back straight over here. 16 laps remain. Laps now to go here. It looks like Hervad may be getting a little bit impatient, a little bit on the squirey end, trying to take on Camilla here. Guy Motorsports crew right now looking to cease development and cease to find a line, the line and the grip. They know they cannot be trying to test around anymore with these cars and anymore with these schedules. So close that so far. A little bit of a runoff here from Cole Martin. Martin with a very daring block we've seen time and time again here on the show from last night to tonight. That was a bit of a throw-off shot that could have been very clutched and very dangerous here if these drivers weren't going to back off for him or give him a chance in this case. Well, they backed off and they gave him another chance here. Now, right now, the field Just starting to punch in the final closing laps, final closing markers here. So Zach Camilla, Eddie Morris right now, they are literally the two front guards, the two fighting spirits left out on this playing field on this trackside zone. The other pack right now, I think, is hoping and praying for a caution, praying for anything that can give them a chance at this here. They know they have been put into a very bad, rough call, rough deal here. And they don't want to lose out on the extreme possibilities and what could be a chance here over a lifetime for them. But they know with only this amount of laps left, things are just going to start to pick up even further through the race. Next week, of course, we will not be back in the plate track side of things next week. Well, we're going to be heading down to Bristol Night Race. You'll see that live here on the show on the 18th, and it'll be a day off on the 25th. Return back to Kansas on April 8th, the day off. Martinsville Speedway will be on April 15th. April 22nd, Maffle Speedway, and then April 29th will be Homestead Miami Speedway. So pretty much a Rolls Royce of drivers and a Rolls Royce of battlers out there. Well, laps to go, and this one is getting closer and closer. And you just know in anticipation that it's probably going to happen. The one thing I don't want to say right now, but it looks like a big yellow banana up in the sky when it's up in the air. Hopefully we don't have to remember we have to turn that one back on when all is said and done here. It's coming around right now at the moment. Dylan Hervatin with a little slingshot move right into the three wides, little for any kind of position he can. Cole Martin though holding him down. Now it's Hervatin's turn to make the full throttle assault charge. But even if he gets up to there to the front, he's still got to deal with lap traffic here. Camilla trying to debate what he's going to do. He goes either top side and tries to stay out of the way, or possibly loses the lead, or what is he going to do? Ricky Gonzalez, he had such an incredible amount of speed, but he backed off the car, and now look at him here. So much left to do. Do any of these drivers have anything worth taking left under the hood? Well, final 10 laps now, engaged and in play. But I can tell you right now, this is exactly what they didn't want to see. Those trouble down turn numbers were in 2. 1 and 2, and now the guys that were hanging back there, I think, can breathe a sigh of relief, but unfortunately, the 18 and the 11 may not be sighing anything other than just a sigh of sadness and defeat, to say the least here. Wow. 9th caution of the day here, and things just got a lot crazier and a lot more suited up for this one now. Here's what happened on the PTM Racing replay. We'll take a look at a couple onboard cameras here. Look like a nice just kind of slowly drive on down. You there kind of clipped your wing off a little bit there, sir. But car is at least able to refire back up here and at least be able to get back on the track. Despite the little lingering issue here. Whoops. And I guess the other lingering issue is sometimes our producers cannot seem to get around that glitch graphic gremlin that was popping up there. Yeah, we do have to go back and look at the replay, so that's why you see that little bar thing show up there, unfortunately, on our end. Not because we don't want to try and show it to you guys, just we're trying to keep it away. Try to make these broadcasts about as realistic and as official as possible. And you can see that big wreck right there did not quite help out the mojo of some of these drivers, I would presume, because now they have to really use fuel and tires as their saving grace, and some of them are badly damaged up to the point they don't have that speed anymore. Now this is really that make or break kind of moment you just kind of hope for and want to stay away from as soon as possible, but now you know that you have to take it or this could be the end of the race for you. So right now 6 laps will remain as we bring it right down around turn number 1, down turn number 2 here. They're getting prepared for this next go around. And I guarantee you one thing here, being in turn number 4, I really, if I am anywhere near that leader, if I'm anywhere near in that position, my first priority is just literally watch the whole shot, watch that spot off, because that thing is going to take off. It's going to be very, very difficult to kind of hang in with. We will have to see if it's going to be enough here, though. So here we go. 6 laps remain. And pretty much this is kind of a do or die straight right now. It's all speed and get kind of heading on down the track and what they can do. It's all about how you handle yourself, how you put this thing straight to the limit, straight to the floorboards. Hoping you can just find any kind of openings, any kind of positions you can get with this race and with this spot here. field is prepared to do it again. They are prepared to go one more go around, one more time on by. Head them down, watch them run, watch them hit, watch them dent, watch them spin it if they may. But I don't think we're going to see any more of that. Can we trust in the drivers to get one more good push around on the track here? We're about to see with 6 to go. This could be the game plan. This could be the sanctuary they needed here. Running it down here, 6 laps left. Here we go. Irvine with a great start. Got a nice, solid push there here. Drivers stay out of trouble here. I don't think that's going to happen. Everyone getting a little bit cluttered up. They're getting pretty close together. This is going to be a very scary situation. They're going to have to watch it down there. They aren't going to hold back now. They aren't going to hold back anything here. Why would they? They need to get positions going. They need to get the chains moved on up, which means they have to take risk. Take risks they shall. Papa on the outside with Roos. And Roos trying to get something going here with his teammate. The other drivers now moving through the chains up a little bit here. Cross threading up by side-by-side battle here. Eddie Morris now swinging it to the outside. Hervaden tried to hold him off. You saw him blocks trying to charge him up, but it wasn't enough. The 96 moving the team in. Now JKR is right in the race lead. You know what they'll have to do next. Eddie Morris is the man of the hour. He's the man with the power, but Hervaden has got the bottom lane all to himself. That could be all he needs. Oh, big block by the team there. Ruining their run, ruining their chances here to get something going on them. We had 5 to go. We go down to only 4 laps remain. But again, how difficult are they making it on themselves? They got to be very, very superstitious about this one. They know they can't keep blocking too much like that, especially when Eddie Morris starts blinking out. Morris is gone. Morris is gone. The blink happening way too often, way too much. And now he's just out of here. Hervaden now realizes he's got a chance. Morris has yet to come back. I don't think the Glitch Graphic Gremlins are going to let him come by anytime soon. Hervaden literally sticking his nose straight down at that 97. I don't even think Savati knew what he was up to. The 18 pushing and shoving, trying to hold the line down, trying to get one last leg, one last run. Neither one trying to give up, not trying to give it anything in this one. Camilla now takes up topside, trying to get another hand from the drivers behind him. Hervaden though left him all alone with only 3 to go. They are 3 wide, saluting this one. Did JKR make the wrong decision trusting in their teammate? Did they make the wrong move by trying to get one of their own up there in that spot and then have this happen? I don't even think they know. I don't even think they realize what to do or what really can go on from here. Look at some power-based maneuvers though. Watch that 45. Cole Martin, look at him just cross-thread the gap. Makes it through the gap extremely with ease. Nick Biddy falls in line. Every single one of these drivers right now trying to get one last little push, one last little grip of the track. They don't have much time to do it, so they know they have to do it now or never. There's not much chance they'll get. 2 laps remain. If they get it to the white flag, this one's going to end under checkers. They've got to get through just 2 more corners and that front straightaway, then straight along the line. That's when they can start really putting everything they got to the limit. Oh, a little bit of bumping, a little side skirting there. Drivers getting a little bit all over the place. Jocko go in the 11 trying to hold on. TJ Roberts is not in a good spot, trying to stay out of trouble. Blocking. Savati goes haywire at him. He tried to make the move. It did not work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the white flag lap they come to. We're finishing this one under the green. Oh, Hervan gets taken out though on the first corner of turn number 1. Aaron Brown takes the lead away. And now he's going to have his hands full with his teammates trying to help him out. Will they have enough time to get him to the line? Are they going to have enough time to get into the chance of the race this one to the end? This one's going to come to the wire. Someone's going to win this at Talladega, but which one will it be? Papa gets set up top by Brown. And Brown pushes in again. Wait a minute, where did Carl Anwer come from? The number 51 now charging up. One last push, one last leg. He forces Brown. Now Tom Bourne sends it in. And Brown, he gets taken out by Anwer. They'll bring it to the finish line in a dead heat. They wreck to the finish. Tom Bourne will win it. Tom Bourne will win it to the line. Unbelievable. Wow. 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 Carl Anwer, Tom Bourne, the last two remaining. And Tom, literally with the last ditch effort, had to push this one in position for the win. And boy, what a time to be alive if you're that 16 crew. Player 116 Genesis Ford Mustang. Absolutely unbelievable. His heart, his mind, his dedication to this race was all in the right place. He knew it was going to come to this. He knew he was going to come to that line. I guarantee you there's going to be a few drivers thinking pretty hard about what happened exactly and what went wrong. But at the end of the day, you still have to race your race. Tom Bourne getting a huge win yet again here on PTM Racing TV, and I believe this is literally back-to-back for him. He did win at Charlotte last week. What a race, what a fight from the finish to the go. Here is your results now. Top 10 will go through. Tom Bourne, Carl Anwer, Alexander Grafon, Ricky Gonzalez, and of course Zach Camella coming away top 5 there in this field. 6 Brock Sabati, 7 to Christian Roost, 8 to TJ Roberts, 9 to Chris Papa, 10 to Cole Martin. Leaning down to the line, reading down to the ends here. Absolutely insane and crazy to say the least here. And race fans now waiting in the room and waiting to come on down. Here is the third place finisher. And Alexander Grafon, congratulations here on this third place finish. But that teamwork, man, really was pretty much kind of the tall tale, the order that you needed to try to get this run in. And you certainly got it, but unfortunately was not enough to get ahead of these guys as they wrecked everyone to the line. Hold on, folks. Might have a little bit of technical difficulties on my end. Alexander, you got a copy, bud? See, maybe it might be some on our end here. Nope, everything's working okay on our end. Alex, you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there you go. So, let's just go over this real quick again here, man. You had literally a lot of teamwork done, a lot of work around the track, and a lot of it just kind of boiled down to just trying to hold the lines and trying to hold these cars in place. And I know the team definitely did a good job there, but it wasn't quite enough here as the field kind of had a little bit of a last-ditch effort and wreck here, unfortunately, coming on the front stretch. What happened down there when you guys were going to the end?
Yeah, felt great all race. We had excellent teamwork. We were able to group up, get in a line, get some runs, and get out to the front. I felt really comfortable pushing that entire race. I got some damage there early, and I really wanted to preserve my fast repair as long as I could, but ended up biting me a little, saved it a little too long, and no more yellows came out where I could make a good use of it. But all in all, I'm really happy I was able to make it back up to third. I think last couple of laps there, I maybe fell even as far back as 15th to 20th or something like that. But to get back up to third is a blessing. I don't know what happened on the last lap. That was some That was some carnage. What was it like on your end?
Well, I mean, what it was like on my end was pretty simple. It was absolutely chaotic as much as it was crazy to watch, but at the end of the day, my friend, that's what makes it all fun and worth it to see. But I'll ask you this, sir, as you come away here with the third place finish, is there anybody you want to thank here today for this one?
Yeah, like always, want to thank JKR, Jeremy Richmond, for giving me this opportunity to race on JKR. Like to thank all my teammates, Brock, Aaron, Matthew, Eddie. Uh, they're all good guys, fun to race with. Great teamwork this race. Sorry, Jeremy, couldn't be here, but I know he'll be watching the broadcast. Thank all of our sponsors, Five Star Cuts, Serenity Sun Tanning, Kerfans Market, Matt Rob Cuts. There's too many of them to remember.
Hey, I mean, at least you remembered a good chunk of them and got a good position in to give them a word out there. So congratulations on that third place finish here, Alex, and it's good to see you back here in this podium.
Yep, great broadcast. Thank you.
Thanks, Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the 99 coming away here with a solid third place finish. But let's take it down here and talk with the 51 here. Carl Handwork now on the line. And Carl, congratulations here, man. What a battle here and what a fight from the zone. This was wild up to literally coming off turn 4. It looked like this 51 had everything dialed in, but then a little of that bump and drag and that tag there you got, if I believe it, from the 97 of Aaron Brown, ends up slowing you down just enough. And coming on his outside, he literally just was able to pull you away there. Man, I gotta believe this was a little bit of a heart wrencher for you.
Yes and no. I mean, this was kind of status quo for me. I planned on riding the back the entire race, letting everybody make their stupid moves and take themselves out, and then find my way to the front at the end. So it worked out. I was going to be happy with the top 5 regardless, because I can't stand plate tracks, because there's a lot of phony racers out there that think they're good and show up for the plate tracks and just suck. So just got to wait for them to kind of weed themselves out and then move your way up. But yeah, I mean, as far as the end there, I I didn't like any of the moves that I made at the end. It somehow got me to the lead coming to the tri-oval there, but the 16 cut across my back and it just got me a little bit, and that got me a little sideways and put me into who was on the inside of me, 95, 97, whoever it was, and spun him out. And that was enough to slow me up just a little bit. And as soon as he got the run on the outside of me, I tried to side draft and slow him up by even, just scraping him a little bit, but I knew he had enough to get by me.
Certainly some strong words and some strong talk about this one, and everything kind of played out. But at the end of the day, you were able to still strongly hold this car in play and strongly hold yourself out on the track, even though a little bit of a hatred for the plate tracks here. Nevertheless, though, my friend, you are still going to walk away second. So, Carl, who do you want to thank you for that?
I want to thank my team first and foremost, Titletown Racing. No matter how bad the talking or the driving or anything happens on the track, we have a blast every race. I mean, we're joking and laughing pretty much the entire time, whether we're making a dick out of the other drivers or each other. It's still fun every week. So definitely a big shout out to Wes and all the guys in there. Joker Graphics, I want to thank him and Josh. He does some of my paints in the other one, but Wes has all our paints for this one. Wes does a great job. I know he's kind of stepped away a little bit from the painting, but he does an awesome job with all our paints. So thanks to Wes, thanks to Josh for painting and doing everything he does for this league. I know it can be stressful at times, but he he gets it done. And obviously you guys up in the booth, I appreciate you guys putting out the broadcast.
Absolutely, man. It's been an honor and pleasure to call this one again. Carl, congratulations on the second place finish, man. We certainly hope to see more of you in the future, sir.
Sounds like a plan, buddy.
Carl Hammer, ladies and gentlemen, here, your second place finisher here today. As we had last talk with your race winner tonight, Tom Bourne. As the night skies fall down on this track here, Tom, the last big move, the last shootout maneuver delivered off turn 4. We just talked with Handwork about this one. He gets a little bit tangled in there. You spy an opening, you draft it up, and as even some of the comments here from our good friends there, from Paul Butler even saying that they were watching you kind of wait this one out. You waited out, you struck at the right time, and victory goes to you today, sir.
It's good to be up here. Unfortunately, didn't get to talk to you last week with the dominance at Charlotte, but unfortunately, job calls. But yeah, just had to wait it out. Like, I knew something big was going to happen towards the last couple laps and whatnot, and I thought I was done with 10 to go when we were about 7.5 seconds back. But luckily, kind of goes to show that, people are just kind of what this league brings as cautions, unfortunately, and hopefully we can figure that out. But, that kind of saved us in the end.
It did indeed here, and I know after all the hardships and all the hard racing, you brought down obviously a big victory at Charlotte, really showcasing some of your complete control of the track. But here at Talladega, it really kind of shows maybe the strategy and the smart thinking end of the speedway here. Really shows you can definitely play kind of both ends of the corners here.
Yeah, definitely. Side draft was a big problem tonight. I don't know what they did to this package or these cars, but everybody was just trying to side draft way too much, and I was trying to, save the fast repair as long as I can if I needed to use it. And we got caught up in that big wreck with, I think, like 30 to go. And, at that point, it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to sit in the back and wait. And hopefully I'll be in the right spot at the right time. And, people were getting put in the wall. People were, blocking left and right. And I just saw, whatever opening I saw, I was going to take. And, because unfortunately this car is all about momentum. And, you lose any momentum, then you're, it's not going to turn out well for you.
Well, it may not turn out well for some others, but it definitely turned out well, at least enough for you to come away with a solid finish and a victory here. So, Bourne, who do you want to thank you for this win at Talladega?
Yeah, just got to thank Player One Coffee on the car. I saw you guys rotating around it on the broadcast earlier. They're on for a select amount of races this season. G Fuel last week, getting that car in victory lane. You doing the broadcast week in and week out. Always love coming up here and talking to you whenever I can. And everybody that's watching, shout out to you for, being able to get the viewership up and everything. And, Kira, she's always watching. The team always puts together great cars. Decided to just destroy this car during the burnouts because we don't need this car anymore for the rest of the season. I don't think there's any more super speedways. So, yeah, and overall, just shout out to the admins for having me again. And hopefully we can repeat the championship that we did in Season 2 and try and get another one here.
Another possible chance at a championship could be in your future, could be in your chances and stakes here. But for now, this win at Talladega definitely going to mean a lot and help you out for the long haul. Congratulations, your Tom.
Thanks, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here at Talladega, Tom Bourne, as we will sign that off here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning on in. Thank you so much for the support here on Facebook and the YouTube replay side of things. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you so much for your support. We will catch you guys next time when the green flag flies here on the show.